Guys, thanks for coming and yeah. So tonight we would like to discuss about immigration, and I want to know your idea about immigration. Edsel, what do you think? Why you came to America?
America is the land of opportunity.
That's right. Land of milk and honey.
I'm allergic to milk.
Is the American dream a reality for me?
Because if I fail, that means I failed my race.
How does immigration impact the American dream?
Your Fellow Americans is a project asking questions about race, immigration, and the American dream. We're just trying to figure out what it means to be American for as many different folks as possible. In March of 2015, the Your Fellow Americans team met with a Filipino-American family. We joined them around the dinner table as they discussed race, immigration, and the American dream.
I am Olivia,
I am Belino.
and we are the parents of Yvonne Spurlock, Christine Nido, Edsel Iway, and Stephanie Nichols.
We came here 1974, summer, June actually. There is no question.
Yes.
I am glad that I am here in America.
What made you guys decide? I mean, everything was great in the Philippines, and you had your practices there and all your family. What made you decide to move the entire family to the United States?
Ask your mom because I'm the head of the family, but she's the neck, so she decided.
I was the one who insisted on coming to America.
Yeah, I was born in Bayawan City. That's another island in the Philippines. And as we were growing up, my dad, who stayed in America, who studied in America, told us every time we have dinner, that's the only topic he would discuss with us. You will be a doctor, and you'll go to America because America is the land of milk and honey. So we thought, we'll go to America then, and that was my dream.
I was very satisfied in my practice. I graduated first, and then I practiced for 7 years. And I was a very successful general practitioner at that time as a doctor. So I did not even think about America at that time until martial law was instituted by President Marcos. And, you know, your freedom is restricted. So I was not so happy about that. And at that time, we had a serious discussion, and she suggested it's time to go to America.
You
And
know,
you grew up in a really, really poor family, didn't you?
Well,
Not exactly.
For mom?
No, me?
They had a house here, rice
My
field.
dad was a business.
There, my
That's what she
dad.
told you.
Yeah, that's what she was doing. She was lying to you.
Yeah, in the Philippines, we're considered rich. And of course, when you come to America, you don't think you're rich because you see all this, those people here, they can have everything they want at the tip of their fingers.
Yeah, in the Philippines, if you have the money, you could get a maid for one to cook, another one to do the laundry, another one to drive you back and forth to your work, another one to take all your groceries from your car. We had around maybe six maids. That was 3 gardener and everything. So we have a good life.
We came here with only $200 in my pocket.
Yes.
The government, allowed us only $200. I questioned that. I said, how can I help? I have kids to feed. And what is $200? It will not last long. I think we were just guided by God up there on how to survive, at that time I had 3 kids.
That was funny because I'm the kind of person who wants my kids to be always wearing nice clothes, and we can't afford it because we were in America. And so I learned to sew so they can have beautiful clothes every Sunday when we go to church. Yeah, that was because I was not working then at the time. And we got adjusted. I got adjusted quite quickly because of, I think I need to adjust. But we were enjoying it And he didn't complain. My cooking, he didn't complain. I learned everything in just a short time.
Yes. Oh, there are things that maybe I forgot to tell you about.
Like how you almost got deported, Grandpa?
Well, you didn't know that.
No, let me explain this. We came in as exchange student, G1 visa, and you're supposed to go back home after 4 years of training. But then we didn't, because Senator Dole and Senator Casabon, invited us to go to Elkhart and they will sponsor us. But the CEO of the hospital didn't remember that it's supposed to be renewed every year. So when your Lola Sayong died, your grandma died, we went to the immigration asking for a passport to go home. And they said, we are illegals because the CEO did not renew our visa. Yeah, but that was, it was corrected right away.
I vaguely remember.
I remember.
We were like in middle school or something
Yeah,
like that, crying. I was
Yeah.
horrified having to go back.
You were illegal?
I never considered myself actually an immigrant until I realized that day my parents told me that we had a problem with some green card issues, or I don't know what happened exactly. And I found that out when I was around 13, 14 years old, and it was quite a shock to me. I never thought of myself as an immigrant. So when you talk about immigration in the news today, I think of it more as, I guess, as an American.
Immigration today is so different than I think back in the 70s. I mean, I think of what my parents had to go through to enter the United States. And, they did it legally. They were residents in medicine. They were working.
For us, it was easy. When we get the G2 visa, a G1 visa, we were able to come in with our family. But not at this time, no.
During the time when my parents immigrated, they were looking for doctors. There's a big shortage of physicians, from my understanding. Nowadays, even though there's a shortage of physicians, they're cutting back on immigrants coming to fill these spots.
The way I see it, it seems that there is a country that the government is more in favor to let them come easily as compared to the rest of the countries that wants to migrate to America.
I think now we are probably bending over backwards to allow immigrants in. The rules are so different now.
What I think fuels the talk about immigration today is the fact that no one seems to be following the rules. And I believe that we have laws for a reason and that they should be followed. I believe that when Americans see that laws aren't being followed, not just immigration laws, but other laws, it frightens people. And when people are frightened, they tend to show it, and it can come off as being racist.
In Texas?
In Texas, the fast food, and they have the drive-in. So I ordered the food that I like, and the answer is habla español. That means he wants me to speak Spanish. I said, guy, this is America. This is not Mexico. So I want you to speak English to me instead of me speaking Spanish to you. So that's kind of reasonable. Why? We are in America. We love America. We want to stay here. So why can't you
adapt
how to speak English or adapt the culture of America, and also don't forget your own culture. But you have to adapt American culture.
Yeah.
And that's what we did as a family.
And I think back then, the immigrant was so eager to get into the United States. They would have done anything to just blend in. I know my family did. My parents did. And nowadays, I think the Americans just sort of let the immigrants call the shots a lot of times, which I find very interesting, because a lot of the immigrants are trying to get into to be an American, yet, a lot of times they don't want to blend into the American culture as much. So I find that interesting.
Given that Hispanics are the largest minority in the United States, Is it unfair that they have a greater voice in U.S. policies than other immigrant communities? Is that even true? Let's talk about it. Comment below or visit kcpt.org/yourfellowamericans.